and maybe even new places to send mail and what to buy and all that good stuff. So when we're done with this, whenever we're done with this, we'll have a lot of good stuff to share with you all. So it's going to be awesome.
Jill and I just recorded an episode for the podcast that'll air next week, but the gist of it is that it's pretty amazing the different types of property uses that you see in different parts of the country. There's just all kinds of local cultures that go on with real estate. We were in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and there was a guy at the bar. He was, he doesn't have any idea who we are or what we do for a living. We're just two other schmoes at the bar with everybody else. And he described in great detail how he bought a piece of property, improved it, and then resold it for, 3 times what he had into it, and how he's going to go live in Phuket for a while. So it's just, I had no idea that what he did to that property would ever be possible. And in Arkansas, there's a culture there where they just allow you to do with whatever you want to do with your land. So if you have the opportunity or the luxury to go spend some time in markets where you're sending mail or thinking about sending mail, it can work really well. Mm-hmm. And it's fun.
It's so true. It's, we're kind of being our own boots on the ground right now is really what we're doing, and really mm-hmm. getting to know the locals and getting to know the area and getting to, there's definite value there to, meeting some people, meeting the right people. Who are we talking? Oh, you know what? It was in that same town. Do you remember he told us this story about a woman that the whole town basically rallied and boxed her out. I don't remember what she was doing to her property or what she was trying to build or something, but it went against everything that everybody believed in there. And they subtly boxed her out, and including, the officials that lived there, just made it so this person couldn't do what they wanted to do. There's a mm-hmm. lot of good old boy, stuff going on in places, and you don't know until right. you're there and talking to people. So good.
Exactly.
So cool. Well, welcome.
I'm going to come back, getting back in front of a computer, when we get back, and this trip has changed, not fundamentally, but really changed my perception on new places to send mail and why, and what the potential uses could be.
Mm-hmm. 1 second.
Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
I'm looking. So there's a little bit of static. Not sure who it is. We're just going to go with it here. So welcome for everyone just joining in. I am Jill DeWitt, and this is my partner here with me, Stephen Jack Pitala. We are on the road broadcasting right now live, as you know, but we're in Dallas, Texas. Well, technically we're in Grapevine, Texas, which is sweeter. Sweet area. I haven't gotten him out yet and really showed him around yet. So I'm going to take him to the stockyards. If anybody knows the areas, you guys, if anybody has any tips for me too, I would love it. So bring it. Please feel free to raise your hand and tell me where to take Jack. But I want to give him a little more of the lay of the land here. I spent some time back here. Gosh, over 15 years ago, I think it was. My parents lived here for about, they lived here, what did I say, 10, 12 years, lived in Grapevine. And so I'm having nothing but fond memories and fun taking him to the restaurants and even the sweet little corner donut shop that I remember that's still here. But I want to show him some of the bigger, awesome things and show him, of course, he's getting a feel for the real estate around here. If you know the Dallas area, it used to be, I always thought like Coppell, and now it's South Lake. You learn, and it's fun to see it. We know how to do a red, yellow, green test and put our zip codes next to each other and see where the hot areas are, right? But it's fun to also, when you can, take a little drive and see what's going on. So that's what we're doing. But we are Land Academy, and we buy and sell land all over the country. And this show here and this time that we spend on Clubhouse is for you to ask us questions about it, because now we're at the point in our careers that we're doing just fine and we want to help you. We're here and happy to help. That's why we created Land Academy. We have House Academy. We have all kinds of tools and support and things that we want to give you as investors for you to get your own business up and running. And hey, if you need help with a deal, then you think of me, kind of thing. That's what we're doing now. We're doing a lot of deals with partners and people that we helped grow their businesses in Land Academy, and it's awesome. Everybody wins. So just whenever you want to, I don't have a theme. We just call this office hours now because we found it way more fun and way more informative when people just start talking about what's going on with their deals or their world or whatever it is. And we just like to let this time go whatever direction it goes. So,
We've gotten a bunch of responses
mhm,
in the last few days from mail campaigns that Jill and I sent out. Honestly, from a few campaigns that I sent out before Jill and I joined forces. So,
mhm,
can you? I mean, this is like in what 2005 or six. What do you
mhm.
attribute that to, Jill? And are
I,
those deals any good?
yeah, well, a little bit of both. Some are good, some are too small. So 15 years ago, or more, you had that healthy eBay operation, and you were, some of the properties were a couple $100, selling them for a couple $1,000, right? And so now I really had someone sign and send back an offer, not kidding, for a property from, it probably was 2000 and like you said, 5, and it was, $125, and it was so sweet that this person said, "What would you give me now?" kind of thing, because the area still didn't pan out. It's still not, you never know. You don't know sometimes what you're buying. We all think that's where the mall is going to be, but things change, or where the airport's going and that kind of stuff. So
And there's no malls anymore.
that's true. Think about that. So yeah, at one time, yeah, that's true. Properties that were really hopping and growing. What did I even read about Mall of America making some changes and stuff? But it's all changing, which is a good thing. So why are these coming up now? I think there's a couple reasons. One is, hey, everybody's a little worried about this environment. Worried about the news, and making sure, maybe they sell what they don't want and have cash to do stuff with, kind of thing. And then also, hey, aging. You send out a nice professional offer to buy someone's property, and maybe it doesn't sing to them right then, but I'm telling you, they put them in a file, and 10 years from now, that's why I really want you to keep your address, keep your phone number, because they might come back and call you, and it might be something great that you still want. So some of them are deals I'm still going to do. I'm like, yeah, this is great, because as always, we have always sent out a healthy variety of of acquisition offers. I'm not just doing this in this state, this size, this zoning, and that's it. So that's that's the level that we're at too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Every
that's a
time
good
this
thing.
happens, I'm like, how many people for somebody to sign an offer and send it back, especially from when it's that old? My first thought is, well, how many other people are just staring at it, looking at it, and then thinking about it, but they don't. They just don't act on it.
Right.
It's
You
got to
know
be
what?
what, 10 to 1, 20 to 1 or something.
That'd be a good indication to remail that area. If you're doing deals like we're doing, and say 5 years pass, and I'm looking in the room, and I know there's people here in this room with us that have been doing this for a couple of years. And what if you've got some people like us just now resurfacing, and you're like, ooh, you know what? This still is a good area now. It's actually even a little bit better than when I mailed it before. So this guy is, and I offered him 3,000. He wants, 8. I'm going to give him 8 because it's worth even more now. I might remail the area.
Yeah.
That's really something to think about. Yeah, I got several people now that I'm take a little glance through the room here. There's several of you that have been with us for a couple of years. and you're probably in this situation right now. And how great would that be? So the people, like you just painted the picture, I'm sure you're right, Jack. You know, how many couples have now taken it out of their file and it's on a magnet on the fridge?
Exactly.
They haven't picked up the phone yet. So, and then here comes an offer for you, and maybe it's double, because like, and that's maybe you offered 3,000 back then, and now you're willing to pay 6, and they're kind of excited, like, okay, now I really need to pay attention. I gotta call this guy.
I wonder how much marital controversy we've caused
Oh my goodness.
by sending mail out like this.
Oh, totally.
Like
I'm
he wants to
sure.
keep it forever, and she wants to sell it tomorrow.
Oh, she wanted to sell it the day he bought it, like a boat. This is so funny. This piece of land on the piece of paper that's taped on the fridge that the wife has highlighted and drawn circles around the price, saying sell it, is like the car that the poor gentleman has in the garage under the tarp that he still hasn't got to. But it was a good deal, so he had to buy it and have it towed to the house.
Yeah, I picture the offer, with the magnet on the refrigerator with the outline of a middle finger and red lipstick.
Oh no!
Not directed toward us, directed toward
Towards the
the
whoever
husband.
bought it. I told you not to buy this, so we're still not moving there. Or maybe it's a secret, and then she sees the next offer because she now opens the mail. Who knows? This is really, really good. All right, please feel free, ask us some questions. We are a little jacked up. We got 4 of our 5 shows for next week recorded. By the way, we are considering changing the format of our podcast to, instead of 5 days a week, to longer shows once a week, because I think a lot of people just find a show and binge it. So good. Thank you, Carrie Garland, for saving me and coming on the stage here to ask a question. But if you even have some thoughts on that, I'd love to hear your input. So hopefully, good. I got Ed coming up here too. So love to talk to you. Are you both in Career Path? You guys are. This is awesome. How are you? Whoever wants to unmute and chime in and ask away. I should have promoted you both on the stage. Oh, and here comes Anthony. You guys are awesome. Yay.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
This is Ed. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Got you. How are you?
Hey guys. Awesome. First of all, just a funny thing was, did you guys see Ron DeSantis talking about Starlink the other day after the hurricane? It was like a commercial that I only have heard Stephen Jack say. It was hysterical. I think it was the best commercial about how the whole world should have Starlink, and I thought of you two immediately.
This is absolutely going to change. Starlink is going to change the world. I'm completely convinced. Ed, what did they say post hurricane? What did they?
Just because they put Starlinks all through these communities. That was the whole point. He's like, ask us for Starlinks. They're the best thing. And he's like, you need it for the school. We're going to give you guys Starlinks. He's like, we're putting hundreds of them all through the towns that lost, Wi-Fi, and that's the solution. That's their solution, which is pretty amazing. And then he had to explain what Starlink was to people. So I was like, wow, this is the best endorsement of Starlink I've ever heard, with the exception of you two.
Brilliant. I love it.
That's good to know. We're in these RV parks, and we throw that Starlink satellite out, and it doesn't look like a regular satellite. It's really identifiable, and we get people coming out of their rigs asking them, what the hell is that, and why, and we should get paid. We should get paid by Starlink to do this, or they should actually send some people out and just park in an RV park for a month and watch people flock to see what's going on. So,
yeah,
because and then you start to describe to them why you have a great internet connection and they have no cell phone coverage at all and haven't for
months.
It's not a hard sell.
Right. That's awesome.
But I can see that because you could keep the network open. I can see how they could do that in a like a FEMA type site where you could just drop a bunch of these in, keep the networks open without a password, and everybody's connected. It's great.
I love it. Do you remember?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I just don't want to waste your time, guys. I
No,
wanted
you're
to still.
good. Do you remember how much it is? Jason Roberts is asking. Was it like 1,000 and then a couple $100 a month? How much is the thing?
So this is
Besides the wait
Starlink.
list.
This is Starlink RV. It's a very specific product. It's the only one, as I understand it, that's been released. Everybody else for Starlink Residential is on a wait list, and they're leaking or eking it out. So Starlink RV, I ordered it and got it a week later. It's about $500 down, and then $135 a month. But the thing with Starlink RV, that product, is that you can turn it off whenever you want. So if you say, I'm not going to use it for these next 4 months, and then I want to turn it back on, you can do that. There's no commitment.
Thank you. Awesome. Ask away, Ed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm in career path, and I love it. One question I wanted to circle back on that I meant to ask yesterday was Jack saying that days on market is relative to certain areas, and I had a great call with a realtor yesterday that I have like 4 properties that she said the area is super hot. Blah blah blah. She's walking all of them for me over the next couple of days, and but like when I do the days on market test, it's higher than the examples. Like it's 65 days on market, 59 days on market, but I know for a fact that area is moving. In one of your podcasts, I think you mentioned that days on market's relative. So, do you mind just sharing a little more distinction on that?
Yeah, so in Career Path, the example that we used in, like, I think it was West Tulsa, Oklahoma, the days on market were extraordinarily low. I think we looked at 5 or 6 zip codes, and it was like 7 days and 12 days and 3 days even. So the relativity between those zip codes, it was all the same. It was like looking at one situation. But then we looked at some older analysis that I did where the days on market were 60 and 30. And so those are material differences, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're in a hot area with 60 days on market and you're really competitively priced, bear in mind, days on market it's an average. It's an average of all the properties that have sold. Some of them were older, some of them were newer. So it'd be fun to see. I don't know how you would calculate this, but it'd be great to see if you had a really competitively priced property, or like the top 5 most competitively priced properties, what the days on market were for those. And I bet you'd be in great shape. 60 days on market doesn't scare me at all if you're priced right. 6
Oh,
months on market really concerns me.
perfect.
Is
That's
that it?
just, yeah, I appreciate it so much, guys. And I'll see you on the next call. Thanks so much.
Sure thing.
You're good. Yeah, Ed's talking about later today in an hour and 40 minutes from now, roughly, is our regular Thursday Land Academy member call. So we will see many people in this room there. If you, by the way, while I'm thinking of it too, like, what the heck are you guys talking about? Okay, we go live with on camera, do screen sharing, and talk even more in depth with everybody each week so we can really help everybody and answer questions in our community. If you want to do a one-time invite, just send a note to support@landacademy.com and my team will hook you up. So that's what we're going to get to spend more time. If Ed is not sick of us yet, that's good. That's a good sign because we spent a lot of time with Ed yesterday.
It'll happen, but not yet.
Exactly. Thank you. Hey, Anthony, how are you? If you want to unmute and jump in here, feel free. May or may not be working. Or how about Carrie? Carrie too. If you want to unmute Anthony or Carrie, just jump in and dive in. Ask us. I can ask us a question. I think there's Clubhouse. I
Oh,
think.
there you
Hey,
go. Oh,
there.
here I am. Good
Yay!
Hi,
Yep.
afternoon.
Carrie.
Good.
Technical issues.
All
Um,
good.
Steve, you've oftentimes talked about bringing up how to work together in a husband-wife or female-male partnership type situation. You want to say a few more words on that?
Yes, I have a ton to say on this, so Jill, cut me off or interrupt me when you're ready.
Oh, I'm purposely muting myself so I can talk.
No, 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 no.
I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to say what I want to
No.
say, and then I'm going to unmute myself and say what I think I should say.
Maybe that's the answer right there.
There you go. Yeah, rule number 1: use the mute button. Wait, and well, I'll add right now, we are in different rooms on different floors as we do this.
Yeah,
So go ahead,
in a,
Jack.
in a hotel in Salt Lake, in Dallas.
Yep.
Here's the thing, and I didn't realize this when we started. And I don't recommend working with your spouse at all. I'm on record saying that. I didn't realize this when Jill and I started, but Jill and I want to go to the same place. So if you're considering working with your spouse, if somebody interviewed Jill and I in different places and said, what does Jill want? And I think I could accurately answer it, and I think the opposite is the same. So if you look, from a 35,000 foot view down 5 to 10 years from now, Jill and I want almost the exact same thing. How we get there is very, very different. So the only thing that saves this working relationship that we have is that we do really want to get to the same place. So that would be the first thing I would ask myself if we're considering doing that. I got into real estate to make a ton of money and to be financially free and drive around the country, which is what we're doing. And I think that there's people that want to get to an end, and then there's people that really enjoy and revel in the process to getting to some end. And both Jill and I want to just get to the end. I don't think she revels in the process. I think she's ready to get done with work as quickly and efficiently as I am, and then go have fun. So that really, really matters then. And this for us was imperative, and up to the point where Jill and I were not scheduling our conversations at work in a calendar. We were killing each other. So for us, it was imperative to have, and we still to this day have like a 9:30 meeting where we talk about everything. So it has to be in a schedule for us to have a conversation about work in general. Otherwise, it just becomes this big deluge of crap coming out of each other's mouths and asking people to do stuff all day long, and just becomes a sidetracked mess. So it's really, really important to have a schedule and work on a schedule. And then finally, my point is this: finally, you have to separate your responsibilities. Jill's responsible for all things people. This Clubhouse thing is her show, actually. I'm just a guest on it. I was a fill-in guest for a while and then ended up being a permanent guest. So, and then everything to do with technical stuff and legal and financial and, audio, video, and all of that is my responsibility. So there's no such thing as co-CEOs. If you look at any company on Wall Street, or private companies, nobody has a co-CEO. It doesn't work. Somebody in the end has to make the decisions and be responsible for it. So we've divvied up those responsibilities. I'm responsible for the education companies and the printing company, and Jill is ultimately responsible for real estate. Everything that has to do with buying and selling land. In the end, I help a ton. I do the mailers and all that, but in the end, she decides. And so those things, believe me, it didn't start this way. This has taken, 10 years, Jill? Probably, maybe more, for us to sort of really make this bearable. So, I don't know, bearable is not the right word, but workable.
Oh, bearable's good. No, but that's true. Everything you said is true, and it really is amazing that we can do this now think about it, everyone. We've been doing this in a 24-foot Mercedes Sprinter van. Try that one now. So we talk about spending enough time together, and then we crammed ourselves in there. And then we drove off across the country, and we're winging it half the time. So you better believe we've had some really good ones. But but we know we do have that same end goal. That's true. And we know we don't push each other's buttons. We know where to draw the line, and we know how we've took a long time to learn to politely say, "Hey, I need a minute. I need this. I need that. Whatever it is," and the other person just says, "Okay." That's it. But for the business side of it, true. Yeah, that's one of the things when I talk to people and they're thinking about doing this, they really want to get their wife involved or their husband involved or their partner involved. You have to sit down, figure out what each person is good at, figure out and be honest with yourself. And you have to also figure out, and so this is partnerships too, by the way, not just spouses, but when you have a business partner, figure out what you're good at, be honest that if you suck at something and someone says, you really kind of suck at that, you shouldn't do it anymore. You need to be able to go, okay, I get it. I hear you. And then, you have to also be honest with what you like to do and what you don't like to do. And then you got to sit and work it out, whether you divvy it up or you hire somebody for the stuff that you both suck at or you both hate, fill in the blank. And then when you have those things, you write this stuff down and you stay out of each person's lane. If I came along behind him and every week changed the podcast camera angle or, the way the intro's extra there's just no way. I have to, there's a time and a place that you can say, "Hey, we've been doing it for a month now. I would really love if we could try this." That's cool. And how you word it, and you schedule a meeting to talk about it too. You don't do it over dinner kind of thing. Make it really professional and in that environment when you're all sharing stuff. Then it's okay. And that's,
I think that this whole suck, what do you suck at, is really, really important, because there's a chance that the person that is your business partner sucks at everything, and
but
they
they
suck
just,
to be,
but
and
they
they
have the
suck to be
money.
around.
Maybe
Right. Well,
that's it.
then now that's a loan situation. So you
Right.
really have to have a super painful, candid conversation, or look at what people are good at, what they're not good at, and there's a super good chance that it's just not going to work.
Right.
Jill is like, this all happened because I had a bunch of leftover property. Jill had a work from home job, and she was lucky enough to have time to work on some other stuff, and had a ton of leftover property, and she just started selling it. I long wrote it off as it's never going to get sold, and there's some fatal flaw, what I thought were fatal flaws, and she sold it all. And so I had this light bulb moment where, what if she just sold property for the whole time instead of this regular job? So we ultimately tried that, and we learned that we're better together. But that could have very easily gone the other way, where she just naturally was not interested in selling property. She was interested in doing data, and this would have never worked, because that's my job.
Mm-hmm. You're right. We did get really lucky there. So jump in, you guys. These are good questions.
Hello? Can you hear
Hey,
me?
Anthony. Yeah, we gotcha.
Hey, how's it going today?
Good. Thank you.
I'm in from sunny Scottsdale here.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
You guys are on the road.
yep.
Yeah.
Do you mind checking
Yeah,
on the
it's
house, please, Anthony? Just kidding.
88 degrees right now.
Wow. Awesome.
Hey, I wanted to ask you on days on market. Do you do your own calculation to break out the days on market for land only, or do you just go by the regular days on market for the entire houses and everything?
That's a popular topic right now, because we're getting to the point now where forever we've only had data for houses and just real estate in general based on geography. And this exact career path now, we just started to talk about extrapolating land-only data, and albeit it's manual, you have to do it manually, but you can get closer to the real truth about land days on market. So I'm in Land Academy 4.0, which we haven't even started down the path yet. I'll do a ton of research before we film that, and I will address land-driven real estate data entirely, but we're using both now.
Yeah, I've noticed there are some markets where the housing market can have low days on market, but land would move a little bit slower. So I think for myself, when I look at places, I always break it down for land days on market, and I look for at least 100 under 100 days for just the land days on market. Versus if you're just looking at days on market for houses, I like to look for under 50.
I think that's a great rule. Have you ever been stung, Anthony, about on, wow, I thought this was a low days on market and the property's just, it took, way longer than I thought to sell, even though it was competitively priced.
Oh yeah, yeah, that happens a lot. And if you buy it right, you need to increase the marketing, get it in front of the right people, or as a last resort, cut the price a little bit. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a
So I
question for
haven't
Um,
been,
Anthony.
yeah, go ahead.
Anthony, Anthony, where are you getting your land days on market?
so there's a formula that you can do it. You look at the list to sold, and then you divide that by 365. So let's say that in the last year, let's say there are 20 listings currently. In the last year, 100 properties have sold. That gives you a number of five, and then you divide that five into 365, and that will give you the land days on market. Do you follow what I'm saying?
But where are you getting your land data? I guess that's the first question.
Oh, so you just go to
Before the
Zillow and
calculation, where's that now?
right. So yeah, when you're on Zillow, you just look at land. You
Ah,
sort for
got you,
land, and you look at the
got you,
land
got you.
sold and the current
Yeah,
land listings. So let's say there's 20 current listings over the last year, 100 land sold. So you divide that 20 into 100, you get the number five, and then you divide the number five into 365, and you come up with what is that? I think it's like 70 days or something like that. For just for
got
that
you.
example.
All right, thank you. Yes, yeah.
I have to
Oh, one other
comment.
thing.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Anthony.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about starting a meetup for land people here in the Valley of the Sun area, and thinking about doing it once a month. But have a meetup at a place with a good selection of liquor. So, what do you suggest? I know
I've never
Scottsdale is your haunt.
started drinking.
Was that?
I've never said no to drinking.
Oh, okay.
we we started that. You know, it's funny. I did a couple meetups. I went to a few in like way back in the day, investor things in the Phoenix area. I remember Jack, I drug you there, and then we went to. I started doing a little bit in when we were living in LA, but I just never got the juice from it. You know what I mean? It's like it's even though it's once every Tuesday at 6 p.m. or once a month on Tuesday, whatever. It's like it's hard for people to even I don't know. So, but if, I'm open to it. So yeah, I think that would be fun. So
Yeah, I'm
cool.
definitely up for it.
It's cool. One of the things we're doing right now, by the way, is we are scouting out maybe end of the first quarter live event stuff right now. We're kind of thinking about that as we're rolling around and it may not be Arizona. It could be Texas. I'm not sure because there's some, there's a healthy amount of people here too that are Atlantic County people or just be easier to get to. So we'll see what we end up with. I'm not sure. Well,
So where are you right now?
so technically South Lake. I thought, yeah, I think about it. We're sitting in literally in South Lake, but we've been hanging out in Grapevine and between the two. So the Dallas area,
Is that in
basically.
Arkansas?
Texas.
Oh, Texas.
Yep,
Nice.
yep.
What part of
Da-
Texas is that? I'm not
D-
sure.
Dallas. It's kind of
Oh, okay.
between. Well, technically, we're on the Fort Worth side. If you want to even get there's like the Dallas side, and then there's the Fort Worth side. The Dallas side,
Uh,
I've always looked at it. Please correct me, anyone in here, if you could you. I never really lived here. I just spent a lot of time here. But the Dallas side seems like the more professional, bigger downtown, that kind of thing. And then the Fort Worth side is the the cowboy side is how I see it. So like I'm gonna take Jack this weekend and go to the stockyards in Fort Worth and do that kind of stuff because it's I think it's a blast and I really want him to see that. So that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I've looked at just 2 weeks ago. I was looking at pulling some data from Tarrant County there.
Yep.
Looks pretty good actually.
Yep. Exactly. That's cool. Good. Hey, Matt, I have to comment as Matt's unmuting here. There is a healthy percentage of people in this room, and I love that are current or former career path members. And so this I know is just brings the level of this conversation up. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you spending more time with us. So hopefully,
Well, hello and thanks. Unlike Anthony and you guys, I'm actually in my basement in Indiana.
oh,
Barely enough light to see. My desk is a mess. No windows around.
oh no.
But that doesn't mean I'm not happy. I'm glad to be here and working away on land stuff.
Good.
Um, hey, I have one comment. The quick comment would be the longer podcast. That's totally cool with me. I
Okay.
appreciate all the content you guys provide for free. So any format that allows you to continue to do that makes me happy, and
Thank you.
I'm totally cool with that. And then the other issue happened to be something you guys brought up in one of the podcasts about. So, like, I had a piece of property that I have under contract, put it to title. Before title closed, I put some yard signs up, got a lot of interest, accepted an offer, and had what would be a double. I don't know how to describe it, but I had another purchase agreement on top of the purchase agreement I had. And I know, Jack, you mentioned a little bit about just it seems okay to do that. The buyer in this instance was a little uncomfortable because I hadn't closed yet. So, any coaching advice you have about how to handle what amounts to a rapid sell? This buyer actually suggested a double closing, which I didn't really want to do because I don't really want to upset the seller that I'm buying from. So, any coaching advice on what to do, what not to do when it's all moving so fast? I would appreciate it.
So I'm going to comment, Joe, and then please, I know you have a pretty heavy opinion about this too. The problem with these, this wholesaling model where you don't actually buy the property and then resell it as an owner, you kind of just take equitable title in it and then resell it for a larger amount. Is that every single deal is different. This is what I don't like about buying and selling houses. Every deal's got some drama and people have some stuff to say about it, rather than just taking it in inventory. But the good news is that it sounds like, you sign the contract on the acquisition side, theoretical acquisition side, really well, to the point where somebody's still willing to double the, pay more. So in the end, now that you're in this deal, you're going to have to decide how to politic your way through it and keep everybody happy, which is, I hate doing that. That's kind of what Jill does for us. We don't do deals like this for everybody
It might
else,
have been
but
better not to put the yard signs up until after I had closed.
Yes, yes. Yeah, note to
I mean, I don't
self.
know.
Note to
Do I
self
do
for
that? Do I just
future.
redo it? Oh, I can do it anytime I want.
Isn't
I
that
mean,
great?
I love your aggression. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jill. What do you think?
No, but I can totally see that happening, Matt, because you've got a photographer going out there anyway. You're getting ready to close, so why not have the guy put some signs up and not make a separate trip? I would have done the same thing. Who knew that this would come along? You have this person so fast. So definitely with your buyer, it's well, you got to be transparent because it's all going to come out no matter
Yeah,
what. Um, and the last thing you want is anybody not feeling good about it. So, and yeah, the main thing is I hold off to the very end. I will do things days before. I know it's closing on Friday. I can Wednesday, Thursday. I'm fine with that, and I'm starting to talk to people because then I will own it by the time I really am.
Yeah, that I totally get it. I appreciate that, and really, it just boils down to sequence is important.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I probably baked the cake before I finished stirring it.
But you know what? What a great problem to have.
Yeah, sure, you
You
did it
know
right.
what?
I agree.
So what? You're now, well, and some people like this doing it this way, and it's just I've always was leery of the one time somebody's really ticked off, and or they go behind my back and they cut me out of the deal because that could happen.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. It's so funny when that happens. It's like when I do that. Sometimes Jack will say, all right, I love this deal. This is what I think we should do. I want you to price it like this, and I think it's going to take 90 days because I'm really going for this price. I'm like, okay. So I put my little spin on it, and then I have a buyer, and then it's like, what just happened? And I'm like, no, I did what you. Sometimes, no offense, babe, but I think it sells so fast. You kind of think that I did something like I undermined your opinion when I really kind of didn't. Maybe I just put some great number on it or something. I don't know. And it just sells faster than we think it is. It's gonna go. You're usually not happy with that, is what I'm trying to say.
See, that's the thing, Carrie. When you work with your spouse, you can, when things don't go right, you just blame everything on them.
That's true.
So that is a positive.
You know what? This is total truth time. I have said, I am writing this down right now that you're saying that. So, and I'm sure it goes both ways. Like, yeah, because you're going to blame me. And I'm going to say I did the three things you said in the order you wanted them. So here you go. That is
We're all
awesome.
noting that you guys are on different floors right now.
Yes. Exactly. And that's how we started. That's how we started working together. I was on the second floor, he was on the first floor. It was great.
When Jill and I started working together, this is really the truth. Neither one of us knew what the other person was capable of. So what would end up happening is Jill, we'd get all these properties in, and then it would be like the 20th or the 25th of the month. And Jill's a career corporate salesperson. And I'd be like, we haven't sold anything this month. And she said, just wait till the 30th of the month. And then a couple days would go by and nothing sold. And I'm like, you suck at this. I didn't say that to her, and then on the 30th or by the 30th, we had 4 properties under contract because she had something up her sleeve. And so after like the 9th month of this, she finally came to me and said, what is it going to take for you to have the confidence in me that I'm consistently performing and doing this so that you just never ask me about it again, ever? And
Yeah.
so I finally did. So when I say, like, do you suck at this? You have to take a good look at that. There's other stuff that I think I'm probably equally as good at that is way more behind the scenes. It's not as obvious. And so she doesn't ask me about it anymore, ever. And
Hmm.
so, but it's a long road to get to that point where now I don't think about it at all. I don't think about any property sales or acquisitions ever. I never ask her about it. In fact, if I do, she says, go into Airtable and take a look. I don't know. So
Exactly.
that trust is, you have to earn it, and it takes a long time, and sometimes it doesn't happen, but when it does, it's great.
Hmm. You know what? That's a good tool there, Carrie. That's what we use a lot. Like, hey, how many inventory? What's going on over here? What's going on over there? I can't remember. I have so many things going on right now. Not only our deals, but I'm funding all kind of other people deals. I'm doing deal funding. You cannot drop a last name or even a state and a county, and I'll go, okay, now which one? I don't know. So I have to go look. So that's part is good. So I can easily say, go look in Airtable. You can see exactly what money's out there, what's in the process, when it's going to hit, how much we made last month, last year, fill in the blank. It is all right there. So because that's how he sees things. I just know what I have to move through the system and get them bought and get them sold and make them great and do better. That's kind of my goal. He, as far as land, he sets the numbers and he knows what we need to hit. And that's great too, because then he can sit back and he tailors mailers based on that.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that that Susan was a Jill.
Mm,
I know I'm a Steve,
mm.
but we took the test,
Oh.
and I married myself.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Oh. This is
Almost. I'm a 381. Susan is a 168. There's no seven in there at all.
ah. Well, that's easy. That's called Pat Live then.
Yeah, we
Well,
talked about that.
I mean, and yeah, and maybe
But
hire somebody that's good at that.
take
but
all the
she's
sharp
much
objects
nice.
out of the
She's
house.
much nicer than I am. So
Got it. Ah, we're talking about the Enneagram test that we do have everybody do, and we did a long time ago in Career Path because it really is great and interesting and helpful to know who you are and who your partner is, so you can have a happy life
Yeah.
and make a lot of money. This is good.
Hey, I have another question.
Sure.
This is Matt again. Um, so, it revolves around a client or a customer, I guess, on a property that I'm selling, and was asking about why don't you just create a, and he was asking this, why don't you just create a bidding war? And I'd already accepted a purchase agreement, so that wasn't going to happen. But I posted it on Discord, and Luke responded already with some pretty good advice. But I thought I would maybe bend your ears and see if you have any advice on what to do, I guess, in a hot market, and how you go about communicating when the buyer is calling to create a bidding war.
So I love the concept of highest and best offer is due by, 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. on Sunday, and fill in the blank date. I think that that's healthy. Everybody knows it's posted. Everybody has an equal shot. It's a sealed bid situation. And I think it's totally ethical and appropriate. What I don't like are some of the games that people play where you receive a great offer, and then you go back to the other person and say, well, I have an offer for $38,000. So if you make it 45, that'll work. And then they make it 45, and you go back to the other person and say 48 will do it, that kind of stuff. So there's a huge ethics point to that, but I do think you can do it the right way.
Would you
Agreed.
ask him would you give him the price up front and then just say, hey, there's a lot of interest. We're asking this, but there's a lot of interest, so we're gonna,
Yep.
look at it on
Yes.
a certain date.
Yeah, I
I
think
do
it's
that.
okay to say, if the property's worth 60 grand and you list it for 38, and you
Hmm.
say right in the listing, we know this is the starting price. It's not for sale for 38,000, and we're accepting the highest and best offer by this time.
Hmm.
Right, and then
Okay.
I think that's hopefully you paid 15 for it in that situation, and it's just a no lose situation for you.
Hmm.
Right.
I love
It's fun to be
those.
on your side of that. It's no fun to be on the other side of that.
It'll be more fun next time when I know what I'm doing. But
Matt, Matt, just let everybody know that there's multiple offers already in, or multiple offers expected, one or the other, and then do what Steve said. Just multiple offers expected, highest and best use by Tuesday at 3 o'clock,
Hmm.
awesome.
and that'll flush everybody out. But you got to do some good marketing to
Hmm.
get enough eyeballs on it.
I mean, handwritten sign.
Yeah,
Maybe have a guy out there spinning the sign around for you, standing on it. There you go. That's
a lot of
funny.
years ago, along these lines, I shared an office. This is like 1996. I shared an office with an auctioneer. So this guy was, he's the guy with the microphone doing all of the verbal auctioning off stuff. So he would auction off anything, real estate, old cars, all of that. And he said to me, and it's always stuck with me, obviously. He said, every person that I've ever known who owns an auction company is independently wealthy. So if you can control the assets that you're auctioning off, you're going to do okay. And we ultimately became the largest real estate company that was auctioning off property on eBay at that time. And he was involved in it. So good job, Matt, in putting yourself in that position.
Ding ding. We have time for another one. Andy, promoting you to get up here if you want to jump in and ask a question. I see it happening.
Am I in? I'm in,
Yeah,
I think.
you are. Hi.
Nice. Hey, y'all. How you doing?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
Good. Very good. Yeah, everyone's just tossing around questions about specific deals. I figured I'd throw one in. We have a deal right now. I've been asking other people about it, and I saw you guys went live today, so I was like, nice. I'll see what they think. We have this property, pretty decent. 32 buying and then like selling it for maybe double. But it doesn't. I don't know if it has physical access. It definitely has legal, but the legal access goes through somebody else's property, and they built an entire garage over our legal easement. And there's a real estate agent involved who's like, "Yep, they must have just thought no one was ever going to build on your property, and so they just built this whole big garage." I can see it on Google Earth. It's a large structure, and I don't really know what the move is here, but I would love to work that out.
That's your buyer.
That's
Hopefully.
who the agent?
No, the guy
That
the
person.
guy who's using it.
Well,
Here's
here's another quirk. So I looked up his
yeah.
name in that county. He's got
Yeah.
kind of an odd name. Seems like he died in July. So that's another thing where I'm like, man, how can this thing be worked out? I don't really know what to do when these easements are like blocked. Like, I guess I could have tried to contact the guy, but if he's dead, maybe contact his family. But then what do you even do? Just say, hey, do you mind tearing down your large garage?
Well, the beautiful thing is now your property's not just vacant land.
I guess so. The garage just
That's an
sits.
attribute. Hold on a moment.
Yeah, there's a garage. You just have to drive around it.
Yeah. Or, it's kind of technically. Go ahead, Jack. I know you have a lot to say.
There's two solutions here. The first one is you can say, look, you guys are encroaching on my property and on the easement that to get to my property. And that can be a big, long, bloody mess. Or you can just grant me access on the other side if this is possible. Just give me an easement on the other side and I'm going to put a road in. Or is it the person that I sell it to is going to put a road in and we'll shake hands on it and we're done. That's,
Okay.
everybody wins there, number one. If it's priced cheap enough, and this is my preference, if it's, if that issue wasn't there and it's worth $100,000 and you're selling it for 60, then you can just be real loud about it. Hey, here's the deal with this property. This person's encroaching on it. That's the reason that I'm selling it so cheap. I'm not
You
going to
figure
solve
it
it.
out.
You solve it. Yep.
Okay.
We've done that on a lot of, when there's flaws in properties and it's real cheap, then everybody can kind of like exhale and say, oh, this is why it's so cheap. I get it. There's nothing wrong with the property. This is the thing that's going on. And I've solved this before. Maybe it's a lawyer in town that can solve those kinds of things and they buy it.
Okay, that's true. And if we wanted to get another easement made, that's not an incredibly difficult thing to do. I've never actually done that.
No, a good title agent can do it for you really fast, and certainly a local real estate lawyer.
Okay, awesome. This would be a great deal to work out. So I've kind of just been sitting on this, like, what do I do? But yeah, maybe I'll try. I'll see if I can find this guy or his family or move forward
There
with
are
that. Maybe
people,
go ahead.
very often there are people in these local communities that specialize in ultra flawed property like this, and that's what they do. They solve these problems. Just got to find them.
Okay. It's a beautiful lot, that's for sure. It also does not have utilities hooked up. A lot of its comps do have like connection to local water and like electricity at the property line. I'm not really sure how much that hurts the value of it. It seems it's close enough to houses where it can definitely get things hooked up, but
I've never, as a land acquisition person, I've never specialized in problems with property, and I know Jill hasn't either. We don't assign those problems to ourselves. We just buy it so cheap and sell it for more that whoever gets it after that, they can deal with all of it.
Mm-hmm.
you just kind of say, hey, whatever. The other comps have electricity, ours doesn't, but who really cares? I'll just buy it. I'll just try and get it cheap enough and it'll sell.
Or
I guess
just be silent. Like Jill and I we don't even ask these questions.
I don't.
It works,
yeah.
yeah.
I look around. Here's what I do when I'm doing my due diligence. If I see 6 houses around it, I'm like, okay, these people all solved it, so I know it's possible. That's good enough for me. And then when I'm
Okay,
selling
that's
it, I tell the person like, okay, that guy did it, that guy did it, and look at that beautiful ranch he did. We all know that there's stuff out there. We all know it can happen. And here's the number to the county, kind of thing.
figure it out.
Yep.
All right.
Hmm.
I
And
like
they
that.
do, and it's all okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jack always mentions the 10% rule with like neighboring houses. Is that we want to buy at 10% of what they bought their house for, or we want to buy at like 25% of 10% of what they bought their house for? Like we want to sell for that 10%.
So the strict rule is this: it needs to be about 10% of what you would value a new house being. So
Okay.
if all over the adjacent properties got older homes, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, on it, and they're all worth $300,000, it's really safe to assume that a new house would be worth, let's say, 400 or maybe more. So if you buy it for 10% of the $300,000 number, $30,000 for the lot, that's an extra layer of protection that makes me feel very confident you can sell it for, half of that or twice of that. So you buy for, in that case, buy for 30, sell for 60. A new home builder is very comfortable usually paying 20% of the finished home value, paying you that.
Okay. Cool. That's pretty much exactly our numbers. So I like that. That's
Good.
awesome. Well, yeah, I appreciate it. Hope you guys are enjoying your travels. I watch all your podcasts. Looks like you guys are in like Eureka Springs. I'm like, oh man, it's a great place.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
That is one place we're going back to for sure.
That place
Totally
is cool. That whole area, all the mountains around it and everything. Driving into,
gorgeous.
it's like, wow,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
Amazing.
awesome. Well, thanks guys. I
Good. Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Good
Thank
chatting
you.
with you.
Thanks,
Yep. Great
Andy.
questions.
Ooh. Good. It's perfect. I got time for one more. Hey, Sid. I got you up here. So jump on in. When did we talk? Sid and I talked was it a week? Couple weeks ago? I can't remember, but we've spoken before. So if you can unmute Sid, you may have to. I know there's some things too sometimes that the Clubhouse app is quirky that you may have to like go out, go back in, play with your stuff there.
On my app, the microphone is the lower right-hand corner that you can click on. Looks like a mic, and it'll turn it on or off.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Hopefully you could find. I wish I could unmute. That's the only thing I can't like. I can mute people, but I can't unmute people. So that would be very helpful. All right. Well, while we're seeing, we'll give a few more minutes here to see if Sid could do it. I'm just gonna kind of wrap up and thank everybody today. What another awesome conversation with everyone. And if you're at Land Academy, we will see you all in an hour. And if you're not Land Academy and you like, what the heck are you talking about and how can I do this? So an hour from now is our regular Thursday afternoon live on camera screen sharing, answering really detailed questions. And like this property that Andy was referring to, we would say, give me the state county APN. We're going to look at it with you, and we're going to see just how bad the encroachment is. And okay, look how big the barn is, fill in the blank kind of thing, and really talk about it. Maybe, and Andy might say, check my pricing. What do you think about my pricing? And we'll look at the deal kind of thing that closely. So if you want to would like to be on the call with us in an hour today, you are welcome to. All I could do is just quickly send a note to my team at support@landacademy.com, and they'll shoot you over a Zoom invite so you can jump in and watch and be a part of that. And now I have Sid. Yay! How are you, Sid?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yep, we gotcha.
My latest mailer, I'm running across a lot of landlocked properties.
Hmm.
May be able to get some easements and whatnot. But before I try, what kind of percentage are y'all looking at? I mean, if a property's worth $8,000 an acre, are you at the 10% mark, 15% mark due to the landlocked?
Yeah,
I don't.
I would. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, first of all, truth time, Sid. If I don't have physical or legal access, I'm probably not going to buy it.
That's the way I was too.
Unless, I have a neighbor locked in. I know I've got the buyer right there, and I'm really just facilitating it because it's going to extend his yard, whatever. So, but I'm just not going to do it. I'm buying really good property. I'd rather put that letter aside and open the next letter where I've got legal and physical access, and it's going to be a whole lot easier to sell.
That's been my mantra as well.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay,
option one,
thanks.
and there's another option, and I've done it. We've done it with mild success. You can, if everything is $4,000 an acre retail, you sent out an offer for $2,000 an acre, maybe less, and you're staring at 4 purchase agreements with property that has no access at all. You can implement the kill your own deal strategy Joe likes to call it, where you just go back in and say, look, hey seller, you know that there's no access to this, and it's a problem that I'm going to inherit. So for
Mm-hmm.
$1,000 for the whole piece of property, I'm happy to solve this for you and get it out of your life. And a surprising percentage of people are going to say, okay. Then I think it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then
Uh,
you know what I've done too. Then I've sent out neighbor letters after I own
Well,
it.
that's
Uh
what I was
huh.
thinking. Try to get an option and send out
Well,
neighbor
two
letters and see if
things.
any hit.
I sent out a double neighbor letter. It's like, hey, number one, I have this property. I'm trying to get access. You're here. Can we work something out, by the way? So I'm asking him, hey, can I work with you to get access A and B? I'm going to sell it. Do you want to buy it? Do you want first dibs on buying it? Kind of thing. And that often sells it right there.
Okay.
I'll get one or the other. I'll get somebody to agree to access or that. So that's usually, and then even then, honestly, if he's not gonna buy it, but I got someone to give me access, I more often than not do not go down the path to solve the access problem. I sell it telling my buyer, here's written proof. I've got it with this guy and I've already checked. It's going to cost about $2,000 and take about 60 days. And I even got a referral from an attorney that said he could do it. And I bundle it up like that and give that to my buyer.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
You got
You're
it.
welcome. Less work is always better, I say.
Yep. Exactly. Good. Good.
Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome. Well, thank you, everyone. Happy to chat with you today. And again, I will see you in an hour, or we will be here on Clubhouse. Gosh, it's going to be in a couple weeks now. So we're the first and the third Thursday of every month at this time. So chat with you then. Of course, if you just found us, go check out Land Academy, find our podcast, and there's lots of good free stuff you can get from that there too. So thank you, Jack. Good stuff today.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.